Good morning. Welcome to the First Parish Church of Stowe and Acton, a welcoming and spiritual community. My name is Meg Rivers-Wright, and I'm the Parish Administrator and Membership Coordinator here at FPC. For those visiting FPC for the first time, welcome. I see you, but I won't draw attention to you. Welcome. Please let us know you were here if you want to by filling out one of our visitor information cards in the pews. It's a rectangular, yellowish, off-white sort of thing, and hand it to an usher, drop it in the plate, or hand it to me, and I'll be at the back of the room. You don't have to have anything sent to you, only if you want. We just like to know who comes and visits us. So if you would like a large print order of service or hymnal or an assisted listening device, please ask one of our ushers. Nursery care is available during the service, and for children in grades K to 5, they attend the first part of the service and then leave for classes. Once a month we have a children's chapel where children begin their time in the community room, and I believe that will be the second Sunday of June. After the service, please join us for coffee and conversation in Fellowship Hall, which is down the stairs or elevator at the other end of our building if you just go down the hall here, or join us in a breakout room if you're online through Zoom. I'd like to draw your attention to the announcements in our order of service. In there, we have a fantastic craft beer and food truck festival coming in September, and we are looking for volunteers, so sidle on over to that table at coffee hour to learn more and to help out. Lots of great stuff coming up. I'm going to let you peruse that. So our minister, the Reverend Dr. Cindy Landrum, has returned from her 4-month sabbatical, but she's off today, and today's service is led by our lay ministers and members of the congregation. So let's come together for a time of community, singing, and worship.
Our opening words are by Clinton Lee Scott, a Unitarian minister and outspoken pacifist. I like that part. From the east comes the sun, bringing a new and unspoiled day. It has already circled the earth and looked upon distant lands and faraway peoples. It has passed over mountain ranges and the waters of the 7 seas. It has shone upon laborers in the fields, into the windows of homes and shops and factories. It has beheld proud cities with gleaming towers, and also the hovels of the poor. It has been witness to both good and evil, the works of honest men and women, and the conspiracy of knaves. It has seen marching armies, bomb-blasted villages, and the destruction that wasteth at noonday. Now, unsullied from its tireless journey, it comes to us, messenger of the morning, harbinger of a new day. Now, as Kirsten lights our chalice, these words are by Margaret Fuller, who was not sure how to describe her, but she was a woman who was interested in theology and the thoughts of the day with Emerson. Now that I drifted off the script there. If you have knowledge, let others light their candles in it. Now please rise in body or spirit to sing our opening hymn, number 287, Faith of the larger liberty. Words by Vincent Sullivan. No, Vincent Silliman.
Please join me. The covenant and affirmation. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. From all that dwell below the skies, let words of love and peace arise. Let joyful songs of praise be sung through every land, by every tongue.
We acknowledge that we are on the unceded territories of the Massachusetts, Nipmuc, Pawtucket, and Wampanoag peoples, as well as honoring and recognizing the Black and African people whose unpaid and forced labor built this country and our state. We celebrate and work in solidarity with Black, Indigenous, and people of color organizations, leading the movement for our collective liberation in line with our UU values.
Good morning, everyone. I am not Rayla. I am Ingrid. I'm going to do my best to stand in for her today. And I would feel so much better instead of being up here all alone if I had some people to support me. If you'd like to come up, I have a story. And I'd love to, oh, thank you. Phew, thought I was gonna have to be here all by myself. Thank you so much. You can get comfortable. There might be some cushions to sit on. There's Eve. Thank you, Eve. Hello, everyone. This is great. Look at everybody who's here. We all got dressed up for the occasion, too. Thank you. So I'm going to read a story for all ages, but it seemed to me that there were a couple of big words, and I had to kind of look them up myself to make sure that I understood what these big words meant. So the story is about a man named Theodore, and it is from his autobiography. Autobiography? So I looked that up, and that's a story about a person's life that the person told. So this is Theodore's telling of his story, not the one that somebody else might have written. And then there's this place called Roxbury. Does anybody know about Roxbury? No, it's one of the 23 neighborhoods of Boston. I didn't know it was an official neighborhood of Boston, but now I know. Conscience. Conscience is kind of a big concept. Any ideas? Yes. Nervous? Yeah. Conscience? Can I give the mic to you? Say that again.
Conscience is somebody's mind and like what they're thinking about or what their beliefs are.
Thank you, Eve. Does that help? All right. Conscience, kind of what's right and wrong. Get a sense of that. And finally, moral compass. I know a compass is what you look at, like if you're going through the woods and you're trying to find north so you can find the path. Do you have an idea about moral compass?
It's somewhere where you can go.
Somewhere where you can go?
Making your decisions based on what you believe is right.
Yeah, what you believe is right.
It can also like tell you if you're going north, northwest, or
Yeah, north or west, so you decide what's right and then you figure out the way to go to get there. Moral compass, thank you so much. So the story is this. It's called What the Turtle Taught Theodore. In his autobiography, Theodore Parker relates that as a child, 4 or 5 years old, living on a farm in Roxbury, he was walking through the fields one day, absent-mindedly swinging a stick and doing this through the tall grass. This was many years ago, in the days before the Civil War. It was summertime. He stopped to watch the water bubble along a creek. Then he noticed a turtle. And the turtle was sunning itself on a rock. He'd seen other boys use their sticks to strike a turtle and other animals. It was part of what children thought was fun, just as some children still like to bully and hit those who are weaker than themselves. Often children and grown-ups are copycats, mimicking the behavior of others who seem bigger or stronger than themselves. Young Theodore wanted to be like the other older boys he'd seen, so he raised his stick into the air, taking aim and preparing to knock the turtle into the water. Then something stopped him. Something seemed wrong about the situation. He looked again at the turtle, quiet, peaceful, enjoying the summer day, just as he liked to feel the warmth and light of the sun. Had the turtle ever done him any harm? Was the turtle so different than himself? Slowly, he lowered his stick and walked home, thinking about what happened. He must have thought for a long time while he turned the page. When he arrived home, his mother was there to greet him, and he told her about the incident. She listened carefully to Theodore, and listened especially carefully when he related how some strange force inside had stopped him from hitting the little animal. "Theodore," she said, "that force inside you was the voice of conscience. Always pay attention to it. Always follow your conscience and what it tells you. It's your moral compass that points you in the right direction. And if you honor your conscience, you'll never go wrong in this world." Theodore Parker grew up to become a Unitarian minister, in fact, one of the greatest leaders of our faith that we have ever known. He became a champion of the defenseless who needed defending. He was a hero in the fight to end slavery in our country. He prayed to, quote, Father and Mother God, unquote, and fought for women's equality and their right to vote. He and his wife never had children of their own, but he felt a sense of kinship with the whole family of creation, people of all sexes and races who had been made in the image of the holy. And it all started one summer day when he was just a child who saw a turtle and decided to do what was right. Thank you for listening to the story. Is there someone designated to lead our group? Do you want to do it? Okay, come on up. Do you want to help? Would you mind? Thank you. Thank you all so much. I felt at home having company up here. And we also have a song we sing. Is it in the order of service? Maybe our choir members can help us start. This is now the time in our service where we honor the joys and sorrows in our congregation. I serve as one of the lay ministers of this parish, and I'm very honored to do that. We're here for you whenever. We can come as a friend, we can come as a lay minister, we can come as both when you need us. We start with any joys or sorrows that have been sent to us through our email channels, and we did not receive any this week. So I'll hand the mic over to Lisa, who along with Marcia will pass mics around. We'll take joys and sorrows from this room first. So please raise your hand if you have a joy or sorrow to share. When you get the mic, you know the drill. Please say your name. And if you don't use the mic, no one online can hear what you're saying. Thank you. We'll light 2 final candles, Marcia, please. One for, as we've kind of touched on, but in general, the cost of war. And one for all those joys and sorrows still in our hearts and in our community that haven't been spoken here today. Thank you.
Our words for prayer meditation are by Unitarian poet and author Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, the first published African American woman in the United States. And as such, with this historic nature of this poem, I'm going to read all the words exactly as they are, with no modernization or inclusivity added by me. Welcome, children of the spring, in your garbs of green and gold, lifting up your sun-crowned heads on the verdant plain and wold. As a bright and joyous troop, from the breast of earth ye came. Fair and lovely are your cheeks, with sun kisses all aflame. In the dusty streets and lanes, where the lowly children play, there as gentle friends ye smile, making brighter life's highway. Dewdrops in the morning sun, weave your garments fair and bright, and we welcome you today as the children of the light, children of the earth and sun. We are slow to understand all the richness of the gifts flowing from our Father's hand. Please rise in body and spirit for our next hymn, number 12, O Life That Maketh All Things New.
The Power of Free Associations by Cynthia L. Landrum. In 1825, when the founding of the American Unitarian Association was being debated, The need for denominations or groups of churches to band together wasn't entirely clear. It isn't that the denominations were an entirely new thing. The Universalists had formed an association in 1783, for example. And the Cambridge platform, which had organized the congregational churches that the Unitarians had broken off from, happened in 1648. It was more that the Unitarians, who firmly believed in congregational polity, had some philosophical objections to organization. Congregational polity is the practice of each church being self-governing, and it was important in creating an association to make sure that this local autonomy wasn't threatened. As one UUA article writes, and I quote, "The Unitarians, who doggedly protected congregational polity both as proof of their legitimacy and because it expressed early Unitarian ideals, found such organizing difficult," end quote. They even viewed the new denomination as anti-Unitarian and called it sectarianism. In the end, however, we did form an association, understanding the power of association, and it became so much a part of who we are that we believe in our strength together that theologian James Luther Adams wrote numerous essays on the power of voluntary associations. One of his famous quotes, and by famous, I mean not really famous outside of UU theology circles, says, quote, "By their groups shall ye know them," unquote. In the county where I used to serve, there were 3 small Universalist churches when the AUA and UUA merged in May of 1961. One church, the one I served, joined the UUA. The other 2 did not and decided to go it alone as independent Universalist churches. By the time I got there 43 years later, only one church, the one that I served, remained. One church had died, and the building was a historical society. Another church had either disbanded or merged into a different denomination, but was no longer at all Universalist. The distinction was clear to me. It was through the power of association that the one church had continued. Today, here at FPC, we understand in many ways how being in association helps us. When we teach our whole lives, OWL, our sexuality curriculum, we do it with a group of UU churches. In our work to help asylum seekers, we partner with larger organizations. We look to the UU Service Committee, our statewide organization, UU Mass Action, and the UUA's Side with Love for leadership on organizing on justice issues. And we've been doing increased sharing of resources and strengths with our neighbor church, Marlborough-Hudson, including sharing worship leaders and leading programs. Our regional staff has consulted with us more than once this year, and we turn to the UUA for answers to many questions. James Luther Adams came to his conclusion about the power of voluntary associations through witnessing the rise of fascism in Nazi Germany and seeing what was needed to resist fascism. Today, in another period of a rise in global and domestic fascism, the power of voluntary association, where we are bound together by love, is again vitally important. How fortunate that 200 years ago our forefathers charted the course to association that still holds us today. Now is the time when we share our gifts, and our sharing plate today is with the Boston area Gleaners. We've had some volunteers who work with them. You'll find more about that organization in your bulletin. You can donate by check made out to FPC online at fpcstoweacton.org/donate or text 978-310-3309. I will now like to introduce you to a Chancellor drama. He Said, a slightly dramatic retelling of the American Unitarian Association Foundation by Nancy MacDonald Ladd. I'd like to introduce you first to our characters. I play the parliamentarian, a reader of resolutions. I'd like to then introduce Andrews Norton. He is a Harvard professor of sacred literature, known to friends and enemies alike as the Unitarian Pope. Next is William Ellery Channing, the father of American Unitarianism. There he is. Our next character is Henry Ware, the youngest, not the eldest, a possessor of many ideas. Then we have Judge Jackson. He is an esteemed member of the Massachusetts Supreme Court, very important person. Next we have Reverend Dr. Pierce of Brookline, a gentleman who is having a bit of trouble containing himself. And Mr. George Bond, a Boston merchant of some renown, who unfortunately has skipped breakfast. Okay, as parliamentarian, having duly chosen a moderator and a secretary, this meeting is called to order. Resolution the first. It is desirable and expedient that provision should now be made for the future meetings of the Unitarian and liberal Christians generally. Resolution the second. That a committee consisting of 9 members be appointed to consider with what degree of frequency
Such shall be held, and to form a plan upon which they shall be conducted, to report to this body at an adjourned meeting. Everybody agree? Okay. The motion having been made and seconded, discussion may commence.
While some have professed that Unitarianism is to be propagated slowly, silently, and without organization, I have heard that both the Quakers and the Methodists have formed organizational structures to promote their respective faiths. Having done so, it seems that neither the Quakers nor the Methodists have fallen entirely into the abyss. Unless united in some way, we Unitarians fail to protect institutions and organizations like theological schools, including the one that writes my paycheck. Basically, we need to get it together.
As to the subject of an association, you know, the naming of things is difficult. Let it be known that I prefer to call it a convention. Also, in my professed opinion, that the purpose of such a convention should be the actual propagation of our actual religious views, which cannot be done, as they say, slowly and silently.
As an esteemed member of the Massachusetts Supreme Court, you may have heard of me. I am opposed to all of this tomfoolery and believe it is not becoming nor in any way helpful for Unitarians to band together in an association, a convention, or any other kind of party planning committee. Nay.
Indeed, the entire enterprise of founding any such organization is dangerous to all of Unitarianism and to me personally. And I suspect, though I have not asked, that if you polled the 75 rural parishes in the interior of the state, pretty much everyone would agree with me. I have heard from unnamed persons that they really don't like this idea.
But
I have it on good authority. People are talking. No, I won't tell you their names. That's what anonymous means.
But
I suspect that the founding of an association would just give people a distant object of opposition, causing them to spend all of their time fighting about issues far away from the concern of local parishes.
sirs, I was just trying to get a word in edgewise to say that the distant parishes have in fact been polled, and while not uniformly in agreement, have weighed in with their general approval. So maybe all of that anonymous feedback wasn't really helpful, good sirs. I'm sorry, sirs, but I am right. I'll sit down now.
I believe this measure to be both expedient and wise. Unitarians have not done as much as they should for benevolent purposes, and an association or convention or whatever would allow us to be of greater use to our communities. Also, I move that the discussion be adjourned so that everybody can go to lunch.
The motion to adjourn did not receive a second. Discussion continued. One must assume that Mr. Bond remained hungry. A letter from a certain Mr. Willard was read approving the proposal. A Mr. Dwight of Springfield said his friend, Mr. Howard, not present, favored the object as he did. Reverend Dr. Pierce rose for the third time to express his fervent opposition. A letter cautioning Prudence from the governor of Massachusetts was read into the assembly. The text of that letter is not included in the source material, though one must naturally assume that it was full of vague guidance offered to a great institutional distance.
Like Mr. Bond, I am in fact a bit peckish. Perhaps adjournment is not such a bad idea. I move that a committee be appointed to invite a larger number of gentlemen into this conversation, and all of us here gathered take this up over our light repast.
The motion was seconded and passed. Membership of that committee was set to 9 members. 9 members were selected, and the meeting was adjourned. Presumably, lunch was had. As if these events are not thrilling enough, the really interesting part came sometime after the minutes concluded. Are you ready for the twist ending? The committee they spent so much time planning for, it never met. Those 9 appointed gentlemen never came together. After all that, nothing happened. The subject was deemed too hot to handle, the general discourse too great to be efficiently resolved. And yet, 4 months later, on May 25th, 1825, an energetic group of younger ministers led by James Walker, Henry Ware Jr., and Ariza Steele Gannett, all of whom had been present for this historic debate, went rogue. They arrived at Berry Street Conference in Boston and personally presented their plan for a new convention of Unitarian clergy, met with affirmation from certain members of that body, and on the very next day, May 26, 1825, they chartered the American Unitarian Association. That is how it started. I now would like to introduce our closing hymn, number 187, It Sounds Along the Ages.
benediction words are by Theodore Parker, who was an abolitionist and transcendentalist. By ours, a religion which, like sunshine, goes everywhere. Its temples, all space. Its shrine, the good heart. Its creed, all truth. Its ritual, works of love. Its profession of faith, divine living.